So we are live. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Friday Night. Pete and Ian, bringing in and Jamie and Alexis. Loads coming up. Let's do an intro. That's not the intro.
That's the party one. It's
all in your mind.
I might change the intro. It's too stressful trying to do it that way. Is my mic still bad?
No, you're good.
No,
you're good.
no. All right, now.
All right, good.
Your Alexis
Sorry.
is, but your mic isn't.
Right, we're going to do things.
Well, we
Andy is going to join us, but he's putting his family first, like an absolute dad. We asked him not to, but he's still done it, and he's going to be with us in about 15 minutes. Because he is the expert, does all the news, we're going to let him do that. We'll start off with pickups, which is a bit weird. Feels a bit unnatural, but we will do that this week. Ian.
Yes.
Thanks for joining us, UTP. Let's do some pickups.
We now return to the Transformers.
Ian's like, that's not the voice in my head.
What did you get this week?
Well-
Baby Transformer do.
Oh,
No, that's not what I got. Oh, me. I thought it was actually me going first.
Oh, I was just saying hello to you.
Oh, thank you. Hello.
I got one ting. I got a ting.
One
This
unboxing.
is the ting.
Oh, Mick, you
I wasn't
charmer.
prepared for this at the start, right? So I didn't know we were doing this at the start. So
Not pickups. We
No,
never do
we didn't
pickups,
use.
do we?
I
We
thought
never
time-
do.
We discussed
I-
it 30 minutes
Read
ago.
the
in fucking chat.
messages!
Ian,
And
do you
we
want to go
stopped
first?
talking at the
I'll go.
start.
I mean, I'm ready to go. I'm just saying I don't have to
I
unbox.
got-
I actually undid it already. Okay, he's there now.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, hello.
I got a trapjaw,
Nice.
which isn't
Big trapdoor was that?
He is technically a transformer because he wasn't like this originally. If you see his origin story,
He's
so
Almost as big as your hair.
I like that
Right.
one. I like that. You well done.
I got him.
Touche, sir. Touche.
Yeah.
So it's not a toupee. Fuck off.
You think it is a toupee?
We didn't think that, but
Because the
it is.
hairline's changed, guys. Look at the previous show. The hairline.
It has moved. It's shifted.
The change is shown.
Yeah.
If in the chat, if you think he's wearing a toupee, just put your thumbs up.
I
We'll
wish it was
count
a
up
text
scores
show.
at the end.
Text 2pay1 8112. If you think he's wearing a toupee,
Next, swat.
text Knickers on. If you think I'm wearing Knickers tonight.
That's what I got. Because the other thing's not hasn't arrived yet. So
Oh, cool.
that
Yeah,
was
don't
it.
take it out of
Everything
the
else
box.
was
That's
that
fine.
abrupt
Apart
and
from-
insufficient.
Apart from planning application for your hair.
Yeah.
Wow, that's so funny.
Don't be like that.
Oh.
Borders do got his YouTube play button today. Well done, sir.
Hey!
Hey, well
What does
done.
that mean? I don't know what that means.
No.
I didn't realise they'd done YouTube play buttons for 100 subscribers. Boom! Joking. John, I'm joking. That's not true. I'm joking. Ian, what did you
Ouch.
get this week? Sorry to
Well,
do this.
thankfully, up until about 6 o'clock or 5 o'clock, I wasn't going to get anything, but it turned up. I'm very pleased to say. But it is X-Transport, so don't look at it too hard. It might
Because it'll
break.
break.
Yes, it's punch, counter punch, or Bond James, not James Bond. Yeah, so I've got it, and it comes in vehicle mode, so I have to transform it. It's very shiny, very nice red alloys, and I can actually move up the headlights up and down. And that's about as much as I've got to with it at the moment. But I've
Don't
heard.
ruin your review.
So, yeah, I know, before it's even started. But yeah, it's nice. It actually rolls. Like there's nice ground clearance and rubber tires, always very nice. But it's X-Transbots. It could break. So that's going to be a review soon. I've heard iffy things from people with it. Some people say theirs isn't too bad. Some people say it's terrible. So we will see. But that's my only pickup this week.
Oh, nice pickup. And you're going to do a review on your channel, are you?
Yes, I will.
Cool.
You're going to show transformation?
No, I never do. I can't fumble with it in front of the camera and end up drifting off camera. It's not worth it. I can't be asked.
Leaning and putting the body weight onto the onto the transformation.
And the fact this will probably take me 9 hours to transform anyway, and I'm going to be transforming it so slowly because it's X-Transbots. But I like how it looks in carbo. Decent size, thick boy. So yeah, I also did get. Sorry, Paul, just quickly, because you and Andy joined on the stream. I did pick up the new Transformers Earthspark game on PlayStation. I did a little live stream of it. I will say I downloaded a 30-minute trial of it because I was going to buy the game. It was whatever it was, and it said, "Oh, download it through PlayStation Plus. You get 30-minute trial, full game, not like a demo, just a full game for 30 minutes." I thought, all right, that'd be a bit of fun. I'll stream it straight from the PlayStation and just kind of do the tutorials, the first level, and which is all well and good. And it went live last night, just a bit of fun. Found out this morning that it had been blocked in America. It had been copyrighted, which you guys know I've messaged you this. But yeah, I spoke to YouTube briefly through the day, and it was, oh yeah, anyone who claims to have the copyright material can sort of block it. And it was blocked by America for One Music in the first opening mission. And I was like, but the game's released in public domain, and I'm streaming through the PlayStation. But I'm not gonna argue it. But there we go. So that's what I got, and it's a fine game.
I think you should go Erin Brockovich on them. Like, take it to the High Court.
I should, shouldn't I?
Yeah,
I should read that. Won't give me any negative press, surely.
What does the public domain actually mean anymore? I'm just not sure.
Oh, it's anything you think. I can't work out why, of all the countries that could block my content, it has to be America.
Do you mean the one capitalist country which likes to control everything? Yeah,
I'm not gonna start throwing those kind of shots because Americans like my channel.
Because they might just carpet bomb us.
Well, let's just stop watching my channel. That's what I'm more concerned about.
I haven't said anything. Well done, YouTube, for blocking his content. That's all I'm saying.
Shut up, Mr. BBC over there.
I recognise that song.
Yeah, I thought you did. You're absolute Judas.
You put an American.
I'm going to rename this chat "No Honor Amongst Thieves." Anyway, that's what I got.
We are going to do the news. We're just waiting for Andy to join us because he's just dropping his child or picking his child up. So we're going to wait for him. Pickups first. Pete, pickups. What did you get?
Just one. Masterverse. I got the heir to the Eternia throne, Prince Adam. Not
my Prince Adam.
Not massively convinced. Give over. Not massively convinced, but
you're not massively convinced, so you agree with me.
No, because that would be I'm completely not convinced. No, very cartoon accurate. Looking forward to getting out of the box. No Transformers, just the one He-Man for me.
Welcome to He-Man the show, everyone.
Yeah, it's
going to happen. Andy's not here. He's going to be pissed.
Because he loves He-Man. Jamie, did you get anything He-Man?
Yes, I got the human Transformer figure, Tunnel Rat. Now that they're part of the shared
universe. I'm the only one with a Transformer pickup so far.
Continuity.
Well, he spaces in the shared universe, I'm like, you guys.
I mean,
It's in the shared universe, it's not that one.
Just say Transformers the show.
Just focus on your hair. But yes, I've got Tunnel Rat. I haven't opened them yet. There's mixed reports about the figure, but I guess I'll find out tomorrow.
Cool. What's anything else, Jamie?
I got the Scooby-Doo playset, which is downstairs. I got that for like some diorama shot in future and stuff like that, and it was like really cheap in Amazon Prime sale.
Scooby-Doo playset. Can we have a look at it?
Yeah.
Playmobil thing.
Is it the shared continuity with Scooby-Doo?
When we do Rohan's corner, I'll go down and grab it and bring it up just to show you the box thing.
Cool. Never seen it, so I'll be interested. And some Paul shows something Star Trek related, probably.
No.
Or Joy Toy.
So,
on a computer.
Battlestar Galactica. I got
job I came on, isn't it?
7 Viper. So apologies, we normally do have Transformers. Normally I don't care because mostly other people pick up Transformers, but apparently this week we didn't.
This is a shared universe.
Yeah, apart from your
No,
Optimus Prime that
that's
you got.
no. I don't know that. Is that a real transformer? Is that a real transformer, Ian? You got to prove it and try.
Yeah, look, there's his face. There's his face.
No, prove it.
What do you mean?
transform-
No. What's this going to be?
Ian
Does this
did
look like...
it.
That's for
Ian got a
Okay.
Transformer.
This is genuine Hasbro shared
Oh,
universe.
have
This
over.
Transformer pickup.
Get off
We've
that
still
high
got
horse.
Andy's to come as well. So Andy,
Yeah, hopefully
gonna-
Andy can
That's
restore some honour to this chat.
That was the thing. I won a competition on Robosin. We're running a
Oh, yeah.
competition to get a 50% discount in anything in the store. So I've won that voucher, so I can get 50% off anything in this store.
Anything on their site, like,
Yeah,
or is it not like
Unlock,
limited?
like
Limited?
Optimus Prime.
Oh, right. Wow,
Yeah.
50%.
Mhm.
Oh,
It's
you can
everything
get
you
your
should
mini
read.
Grimlock. You can get your mini Grimlock Butler finally.
If I want, or I can get an Optimus Prime. So
there was
50-50.
Good.
at least a couple of Transformers pickups. Right, I did get another pickup, which I didn't say. My wife got me. So this is a bottle of wine. She got me this. Not this bottle of wine. That's not the pickup. It's just a bottle of wine.
That doesn't look. Can you transform it?
I need
No.
it for the pickup. So she got me this. She said this should make things easier for me. And it's basically a wine glass, but it doesn't have a neck. It just has a corkscrew. It just goes onto the top like that. So you can just drink your wine.
Show us. Show us.
Why?
This is
Why-
what is it?
down in
Why
one.
is it? You've got. I bet that's empty as well. I bet that's. I know he's got some. Why would you? You just got an extra funnel.
I know
Why don't
that
you just
it'd
net the
probably be
bottle?
easier if you just drank it just from
You
the
just net the bottle.
Ian, that would not look sophisticated, would it?
This doesn't look sophisticated now.
I can't go around Oxford Street swinging out a
correct?
bottle with this.
Am I correct in
I look
suggesting
like
that
Paul,
wine appendage there is part of the shared universe?
could you share
It
this
is, yeah.
screenshot before Andy does his news? Just a screenshot thing.
Good point. Is Chug? Yep.
Chug.
Sure
So
if I
there's a
finish
competition there. It's still another few vouchers up for grabs. So go onto Twitter, just like retweet, basically follow the account, like retweet, tag 2 friends. You know, just tag Transformers the show and my main account if you want to just tag someone you don't know anyone else on Twitter, and you'll be picked by
Pete and I
random.
are here.
Well, is
And
it
you get
Robos
a
then?
50%, and you
Can
can get a
zoom in?
50%
Can't do it, I
voucher.
can't read that.
Alexis, this is really hard to talk when you're just speaking. So just do that. Go onto Twitter, look for Rocky Prime, Transformers the show has already retweeted it, so you can just go down the shows. I'll put the link and I'll put it in chat as well.
Wow. Congratulations. Well done, mate.
Well done. Totally not
The
jealous.
thing is, like, that's an amazing prize. But when you first say, like, "Oh, I've won a competition with Roberson," it's like, "Oh my god, what have you won?"
Yeah.
Grimlock, grand and a half.
Only
To be fair,
50%
if you
off.
used it on Grimlock, it'd be like 750 quid, wouldn't it? Or
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
I was a bit like that when I
Or Optimus
won it
Prime
after,
300.
I
That's
won it
good.
after
That's
TF
good.
Nation, and I thought, have I actually won a Grimlock? I was like, oh no, but it was nice to win anyway.
What's your Twitter, Jamie?
All right. I'm grateful much.
I know.
Hey,
Every year.
Andrew,
Andy's
Evening.
here. Thank you.
tell us you have
You
a
hear me all
transformer,
right?
please.
See me all right?
Yeah,
What
he
was this
hears
about
that,
JB winning Roberson Grimlock? Did I misunderstand that whole part?
50%
Optimus
off.
I know he's won a great prize there and fantastic.
But we were just doing our pickups. Only one of us, well, Jamie claims his is had a Transformer pickup. Pretty much Alexis and Pete just had He-Man. I had Battlestar Galactica. We were hoping you had the Transformer. This is the first time you watched the show and you were really into Transformers. You'd never watch
Yeah.
it again.
You got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, haven't you?
Well, you can rest easy because I've got a Masters of the Universe character. So there you go. But I do want to say this. I do want to say this. So I've been waiting for this for ages. I've got hold of it, and I'm really, really chuffed to have got it. I got it from the whole shebang, which I bought a few Master of the Universe figures from. They're really good for that stuff, right? The problem is, you might be able to tell because we've got a bit of reflection. Can you see his armor? It's warped.
Yeah.
Basically, it's warped.
yeah.
It should hang straight down. It hangs off to the side.
Oh yeah.
I was discussing this with Pete earlier tonight because I'd messaged him, being a bit of a Motu expert like myself. I sent Pete a message and said, "It's not just me, is it? That's definitely warped." And he said, yeah, it is, mate. So I messaged the whole
To be
shebang.
fair, if you turn your head,
if I stand at an angle the whole time.
It looks like it's in the water. Like
Well, the thing is, I thought to myself, right, well, I'll message them, but I'm not going to hear till early next week. Anyway, not only have they replied to me, but they've sent me an address label to send it all back, and they're going to send me out a replacement one. And that was all sorted out by them within an hour, which I've never had that kind of service from any of the independent companies. And the other independent companies are great, but that was just redonkulously fast. So,
who was it?
Yeah.
fair play.
The whole shebang. They do mostly kind of Master of the Universe, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, stuff like that. Not so much on the Transformers, but they do have some. And they're really the kind of Master of the Universe UK, like Facebook groups and stuff like that tend to have a lot of people who use them because they can get stuff in for a reasonable price. Oh, and they do free shipping on all orders. So like that was 25 quid with no charge for shipping, or depending on how you look at it, shipping included. So yes, I'm not sponsored by them. I'd love to be, but I'm not. And I don't even think they'll know that I'm talking about them now. But yeah, the whole shebang were really good. And yeah, if only all independent companies had such great customer service, then we'd all be a lot happier, probably.
Yeah, because some really do not.
Well, your results may vary.
Rohan again? Are we talking about Rohan again?
But he's so reasonably priced. And personally,
reasonably priced.
Is he though? Is he
anyway, yeah. Sorry about my tardiness, Jamie. Sorry, were you about to say something?
I'm just saying I've put the link. Yes, I've put the link on the YouTube video. So if you're watching the YouTube video, you can look at the Robustin link to Twitter there, just underneath this sort of
good luck, everyone.
The description.
Awesome sauce. Cool. Andy, did you do anything else?
No, that was the only thing this week. So
in the rather backwards way, we're going to go from here, pickups, to the news.
Please stop thinking out of that.
Out of 6 of us, only Ian got a Transformer. The rest
I'm the only one out of 6 on the weekly Transformer
universe. Shared universe.
News.
I got some TV, and now the news. Don't touch that dial.
You can shove your shared universe. This is actual universe.
I hope nobody minds. I'm just going to play a little drinking game with myself. I have written down how many questions I think Alexis is going to ask, and every time,
Into a shot.
Yeah.
Okay, you're going to be dead.
The power to get you really drunk.
I was just going to say, I almost want him to ask questions now. Almost.
No, sorry. Sorry.
When you tell people the rules.
No, if we get the same
Still
number,
going to happen, though, isn't it?
the amount of questions. If he asks the amount of questions that I've written down.
All right. Okay.
I hope it's 0.
Shall we crack on?
One shot.
That would be lovely, wouldn't it? This is coming via Toys R Us Canada's website. So this is the Transformers Rise, Starscream, and Bumblebee 2-pack. So this was the a game that I think they start this development even before COVID times, which is why we see art from a couple of years ago. And anyway, this is 2 other toys which kind of resemble what we saw in the little snippets of art that had come out, or I think there was like a screenshot or something. Anyway, I don't know. I quite like the Starscream. I the random like black.
The weird. The Starscream seems like it's an amalgamation of the sort of toy Transformers for like youngsters, and then it's like the Chug. It's like an in between almost.
Yeah. Well, I thought that it's a bit like Cyberverse, a bit RID, but then trying to be a bit Chug, so it's kind of like somewhere in between.
But Hasbro definitely putting the money behind this, aren't they?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It seems that way.
Well, this is going to be this is the Transformers Reactivate game, because it was originally called Rise, as I understand.
That's right. Yeah, I thought it changed the name.
It kind of went. I don't know if it got dropped by a developer in the midst of COVID, but this is the one that's actually being made in my hometown. So this is the toys that I guess that they had already drawn up, and they decided to still run with the designs. Bumblebee, if we've seen him in the trailer, if it is the bot we're thinking of, more or less look the same, but we haven't seen anything of Starscream yet.
No. Well, there you go. I mean, they're out there, and there is some people have shared on other news sites and things the original kind of screenshot, which I think was from a convention or something where they were showing off some of like what was going to come in the game from about 2021. And there's an Optimus Prime and somebody else in the screenshot.
Soundwave, wasn't it?
Soundwave, that was it. Yeah, and they look pretty cool, to be fair, if we get toys of them, but we'll see, won't we?
It's the way they've posed it. It's almost like it's, I don't know, dancing in the 1970s or something like that.
Oh, they could be in a nightclub, definitely.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Anyway,
Name that
enough
tune.
of that. Moving on. The DLX collectible figures, about 11.2 inches tall with 53 points of articulation. So this is the Transformers Bumblebee Ultra Magnus, and good old Borders dude will love this because it's a white, all white Ultra Magnus, and he loves that. That's literally
All
his
white.
favorite version. All white.
does.
Yeah, well,
Some blue.
not too white. Let's not take this down another way. But
I'm a
yeah,
bit worried
mostly
about
white.
this.
Mostly white. Anyway, here you go. It's just like a repainted version of the Prime, isn't it? So
Yes.
Yeah.
there you go.
It'll be about.
We've seen the Prime before.
How much is it? Because
These are about 300 or more.
Yeah,
Just see
they're
how-
quite expensive, aren't they?
Prime was
Squeeze that
225.
money out of the fandom.
I'm just wondering with inflation what it is now, because obviously Prime came out 3 years ago. I want to say.
Was it that long?
This would be a good 300 or just under.
What's the lore behind this, Andy?
What, the white Ultra Magnus?
Yeah.
Well, that all came from the original G1 Ultra
Yeah,
Magnus,
Alexa's
wasn't it? The fact
question.
that it itself was a white version of Ultra Magnus that then combined with the trailer to make the Ultra Magnus we know. And the white version of it was never really explained back in the day when we were kids.
No.
A lot of people who didn't have Optimus Prime used it as an Optimus Prime. Wasn't there somebody on this show who said they used it as Optimus
Yeah.
Prime when he's coated in the
That's what I did.
You
Yeah.
know,
I did
was it you, Ian? I knew it was someone.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah,
So-
I used it as my Return of Optimus
Like-
Prime.
like
that's the one. So anyway, the point is that then they've tried to add it in obviously some of the different comic book stories and things like that to try and explain away what he is, and that's where the whole thing of them being brothers. Dreamwave had it. I'm sure it was Dreamwave in War Within. I want to say somebody in the chat will correct us.
This is why I like the new Studio Series 86 Ultra Magnus, because they just went, fuck that.
Well, they did it more like the character in the movie, didn't? I mean, he is in
Yeah.
the movie. He's just Ultra Magnus. None of this pissing about with a white Optimus
Yeah.
Prime. He's just Ultra Magnus. And the fact that they've managed to do all of that and that the whole transformation, and it's just Ultra Magnus is pretty cool, really. Because normally we get.
I think
you know,
that's why the backpack is so flat. You know, that was one of the considerations.
Yeah, because they didn't have to pack another little toy inside it. But anyway, yeah, so that's like, you know, why we have it, I suppose. And this does look very cool. Borders dude, as I say, will be ecstatic. He'll be loving this. I'm sure there's lots, if he's watching, he'll be commenting on how much he loves this. And he'll buy 3, because why wouldn't
Does that mean Borders' pulse might rise above 50?
Oh, hey, come on now. It takes a lot to get Borders dude pulse. Speaking of getting pulses going, so this is the new Legacy Silver Belt on the left, isn't it?
Why
Next
did you
to
stop that face? I see your face.
Black Arachnia? It is Black Arachnia in
Thank
this
you.
version, isn't it?
Yeah, it's black around here. Yeah.
It's a
So
arachnid
I'm
in
too busy.
Prime.
I'm too busy staring daggers at Pete because I know what he's thinking.
Is he thinking how much he loves this figure? And
What are you thinking,
Black
Pete?
Arachnia?
What are you thinking, Pete?
Well, don't ask him what he's thinking. We don't want to know.
We should
Is
do
that a
couldn't
question? That was a question.
No.
Are we keeping
No.
count?
No, only
That
Alexis.
was a question.
Only Alexis's. I'm not counting anybody else's.
Yeah, he
Um,
asked you what your
You look like you're
what your
cracking up
views
to a
are.
drink.
Why?
What-
Silverboat's excellent. I think we should move on. But yes, it's excellent.
Yeah. Silverbolt looks, I have to admit, I think it looks very good. I've
He does
never
look
had a
good, yeah.
toy, but I'll probably try and pick this one up. Then somebody got in hand
went to
that
fish
Frankenstein Megatron. Well, it's not Megatron, sorry, Impactor. And
I've ordered
Dracula's.
that and it looks awful. And I've ordered it as well.
Yeah, it really does look bad.
Have you right?
They want to see Prime versus Prime's photos. I thought they were really good, actually.
The box looks good.
No,
I'm paying for the box. So
Do you
I
know
can
what?
Box looks great. Great.
Isn't that the
box.
biggest selling point of this? This is like, especially for someone like you, Paul, who's like really into your box porn. It's like the boxes, the effort they've put into them,
Yeah.
as you'll see in the photos, is fantastic to make them look
Oh,
like the
that's
old
nice.
VHS
VHSs.
videos.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fantastic.
yeah, that's cool.
The toys, not so much.
So have you had Frankenstein? If you remember the,
I like
old
that.
movie, the Monster Squad,
Yeah.
Yeah,
you
great
had,
film.
you had Frankenstein, Dracula, Wolfman, and the Mummy. Who
Yeah.
would you have as the Mummy and the Wolfman if you were going to change 2 Transformers into to make the foursome?
So that's 2 questions in one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He doubled up on his questions.
You've got to
Bear with
practice
me.
it, Dan.
Weird Wolf will be.
Yeah, bitch.
I'd have to put some thought into that. I'm not sure. Who could be? Maybe Submarauder for the Fishman thing.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, it could be
But will they have nards? That's surely the question we should all be asking ourselves. And if you haven't seen the film, that reference will make no sense to you whatsoever.
Great movie.
I do like that photo.
That's a
That's
good
quite
picture,
clever.
yeah. That's quite class, but we know the figure's bad, so this is just this is a trick.
I don't get. I mean, if you're a big
Trick
fan
or
of
treat.
these movies, maybe, or you just buy everything, but I just don't get what
The
appeal
Venn
is supposed to
diagram
be.
for the
Oh,
people who
shit.
it appeals to is quite small, isn't it? The bit in the
I
middle.
think so. I think so.
I'd rather get Beast Wars characters, if I'm honest. I think they're really good. I'm not gonna lie.
Smart
Such a
prowl.
backhanded compliment from you.
What would you do for Halloween then? What would you do for Halloween? Like
Beast
gotta do
Wars.
something. You gotta do
I
something.
put in a shit ton of product in my hair and have it go 9 feet tall.
It's always an option. Anyway,
Does it
uh,
work
uh,
on
Smart
it's like-
prowl.
it's like your-
Hilarious.
It's
Hilarious.
like
looking,
your hair's trying to get to Ian. Oh, let me up
Press
there.
it down. Are you growing your hair long, Alexis? To as I did. Yeah,
Hey,
is this what it is?
Hellfire, what's with all these fucking questions?
Questions.
Jim?
Look,
I
it's
know,
Alexis.
I know.
Asked all the
I
questions.
know. I'll wind it in.
I hope Ian's counted everyone's questions to see if
There's
if
something
someone
about
beats me
Alexis.
today.
Smash it or trash
Right.
it. I would trash this.
Smash
it's
or
just
gash? I think gash.
I don't think. Yeah,
Yeah.
this isn't the best. It kind of looks like it should be sideswiped
Hot
or someone.
rod. Is it just a hot rod mold?
Yeah, it's definitely got
Yeah.
hot rod, hasn't it?
Oh, yeah.
The bits at the back, and then we also get deluxe Thrash, who's much more of a
And people have been
main
complaining
character.
about that. This is more expensive and looks worse compared to the original, cheaper.
Does
version.
look worse because I've got the original
does not
release
care.
and the paint scheme
the eyes. Ooh.
is
Dead.
pretty.
He looks very old. Is he
Oh,
old?
smash.
No, they're very, very new, aren't they? The Terrans.
No. His face. I mean, he just looks like an old man. Is he an old man in the?
No,
No. It's
again,
supposed to be
they're very
that.
new. It's like they've just been born on Earth. What's the cartoon? Yeah,
2023.
and anyway, there he is. There's the back of the box. MDLX comic
That
book
looks
edition
good.
Megatron. So a bit
Yeah,
like
that
the
looks good.
early episodes, early issues of the comic book, and this does look quite nice. The colours just break it up with that bit of black.
I do think the waist should be a little bit chunkier, but
Yeah.
and I don't like that pose.
Super
Diabolical, evil people don't pose like that.
Hello. Anyway,
How do you pose, Jamie? How do you pose?
peace
That
and
does look good
tyranny.
though. Peace
From
and-
behind.
That's a bit. Yeah, I just
You'll
noticed that. I
smash
noticed
that.
the first time.
That's his back cannon, isn't it? On the
Why?
arm?
Right. Why do they always want to pose these figures with a crotch thrust? What? Why is there a? It's got to have a photo. with a
That's how
crotch
they
thrust.
stand. That's
Yeah,
how
Rose,
bad guys
I've
look.
never seen any heroic person standing with their crotch thrust forward, except possibly
Because they're
Thor.
comfortable with
That's
their
it.
appendage size.
It's like a
It's not
conservative
he hasn't
power
got an
pose.
appendage. He's Megatron.
Christ's sake, all
Pull
superheroes
his
wear
finger,
pants
pull
on
his
the
finger.
outside for a reason.
Anyway, that's quite a good photo too. Just stroking the barrel. That's-
Yeah, tickling it.
Oh, sorry. These are the comparison photos. I completely forgot about these. So this is the comparison photos, or some comparison photos, between the Studio Series Nightbird and the kind of regular release of Nightbird that was really hard to find.
This is which?
Studio Series is on the right, I think. And
I think so.
Yes.
You've got
Yes.
the Nissan logo on the front, haven't you? So
Yeah.
that would be
Studio
the
CD one is
license
the
one.
darker coloured one. Is the darker
yeah.
coloured.
So I mean, from the front, they kind of look similar. A bit more busy on this one, but it's a more complicated transformation. And then it's when you get into the back,
Wow.
you get the backpack. So a bit of a backpack there, obviously, and whatever that is. And then you get the side view, and you can kind of really see the difference then.
Yeah.
That's
But that
shocking,
backpack
isn't it?
Can come
Oh.
off, can't it?
You'd have to surely, though. I mean, I know, I totally get the thing because we ever go to Alexis about this. It doesn't matter what it looks like from behind because you're not going to pose it with your back. It's back to you, are you? But at the same time, when it's that obvious, you're going to see
That's-
it, even if you've got it.
that's
posed in
heavy,
front of
isn't
us.
it?
Yeah, but
I'd want that off.
the backpack can come
Maybe the
off,
back.
can't it?
Well, that's what I'm saying. You would
With a
take it off.
hacksaw.
Yeah.
I'd just keep it in
Oh, there
vehicle
you go.
mode.
Hey,
There
God,
you
I'm
are.
good. I even did it and I didn't remember I had. So there is the Soundwave and Optimus Prime on the left there. This was from 2021 when these were originally shown. So we might get toys of these. The Soundwave looks okay.
I've got to be honest. I like all these toys coming out, which I don't want, because it just means I'm saving money for the first time.
It's the best way
And
to
I think
save
it's a good
cash.
thing, you know. And I'm so in that way, I am not going to ever say to Hasbro, "This is awful," but I'm going to say, "This is brilliant, Hasbro. Keep producing
Yeah,
stuff.
more.
People want to buy." Yeah.
Speaking of things people might find brilliant, there was apparently a lot of complaints from people who bought the Robosen, like Optimus Prime and things, that when you deactivate them, they just kind of flop forward, so you can't pose them, which people were a bit frustrated by, because, you know, sometimes when you're not using it, you want it to like pose dramatically on the shelf. So Robosen have created, I'm sure this wasn't part of the whole plan at the beginning, but they've created a stand that's interactive with the figure and that you can then use to actually pose it. And so here's some photos of it. So
Has it Sam Palmer's got this? Sam?
It could well be. I'm trying to remember who had the photos. I just saw them literally about 10
I think
minutes
Sam
before
Palmer's actually has it. He got the stand for it.
Yeah,
Okay.
well, let's have a look at the photos. And
I mean, it's always switched on.
well, no, because as soon as you tell him to deactivate or whatever, he flops forward. But if you put him on this, he will apparently stay in the pose. So, you know, there's some poses. You can have him doing that.
I mean, look at this now, guys. This is the future of sex dolls in the future.
Lights up.
What, Roberson?
I've already started that campaign with Megan Fox in mind.
There we go. more grim, less lock.
I don't know. Pete, you could go for who would you like? Which human character? You know, Ben Affleck. I don't know.
That's Ben Affleck. I think you downloaded the wrong Transformers movie.
Oh, the right one. It was the Batman.
And there you go. So you can even just have it in a more static pose, but you'll actually stay in the pose. And apparently the base underneath lights up as well in different colors. So there you go. I have no idea how much this costs. I'm guessing it won't be cheap, but you know, if you're willing to buy the Robosen figures, then I'm guessing you're willing to invest.
I agree with Dog Bear. I think it does need constant power, which means it just seems like it's a bit of
constant power. Well, there you go. If you can afford it, then go for it.
More power to you.
Exactly, more power.
Right.
I've been watching
third party. Shall we party with the third people?
Go on.
Where's your headphones?
Party people. Third party people.
Le jeu de train.
Believe it or not, this is the fun part.
£199.
Magic
price. Yeah, that's reasonably priced, Sam. £199. Oh, it's more than that.
Alexis, are you using your magical headphones again?
Oh, hang on.
Because you're echoing.
John Cena's ones. You can't see it.
Put your pretend headphones on. Here's Magic Square Toys DX9 Mini 01 Vasily. Now, this is their double dealer. And this is something that obviously, as a double dealer aficionado as myself, you know, we were all excited. We saw the pictures of the what you call it, the oh my bloody hell, you know what I mean? When they were getting it ready.
The box. That's a box, mate.
Prototype
well, that's
shots.
the box. That's the box. Prototype. Thank you. God, I fucking need a drink. And this looks good. What I'll say about this is, I think 2 of the 3 modes look great. They actually do look really good, especially when you've got some proper product shots. Okay, bird mode, great. That photo looks better than the ones that we saw before. Not massively better, but better. And that one looks nice, although I feel like that canopy has to have some kind of paint on it, because even the original Hasbro one had paint on it. And there's Knock and Scar, which is nice. You get a little Knock and Scar. It's legend size, isn't it? So that's nice. And then, yeah. So the legs. Why are the legs
Did not
so
skip leg
long?
day, did he?
It's just, and the thing is, I was looking at these because I had a bit of a moan about this earlier in the week, and I love double dealer. So you put out a double dealer figure normally, I'll buy the fucker because it's double dealer, and I just want it double. It's double dealer, and there's just something about the legs really annoys me because of all the modes that you have to get right for me for double dealer, you've got to get the robot mode right. It's got to at least look in proportion. And if you look at it next to the Optimus Prime, the proportions on Prime look far better than they do on this. But then when I was looking at the photos, is it just me that thinks his head and his neck just looks a bit ropey? Is that me?
His face doesn't look complete either. It looks almost like
I'm hoping
half-finished.
that was a prototype photo rather than the finished one. I'm
would
hoping.
explain it, yeah.
And then if you actually see the proper ones, and I'm sure Mick, who will be commenting as we speak, Mick Holland, I'm sure he will be encouraging me to buy this. But I have to admit, of the versions of Double Dealer I've seen, this great alternative mode, robot mode, doesn't do it for me at all. I just think it's.
Can I ask? Did you complain about the Hasbro one because of the proportions, like the other?
Yes,
the
I complained at the time, Alexis. I said at the time that he was a little bit too wide and he wasn't quite tall enough, but I could live with it because it was an official Hasbro Double Dealer, and we hadn't had one since 1988. So that wasn't so bad. But the difference is, I still think proportionally he looks better in terms of his proportions in robot mode than this. What I'd say is this looks better in its bird chicken mode.
And the sad thing about
Hasbro
Double Dealer was he actually matched the Netflix cartoon version pretty much spot on.
He did, yeah. And like I say,
that's because if you watch the review of Netflix, the interview, the Netflix guys deliberately designed all the characters to match.
Oh yeah, they
toys.
used the CAD files. That was the whole point.
Yeah.
So the toys looked like the actual what you're seeing on the screen. So when
exactly
kids were buying them, less so I think collectors, but certainly kids would see it. Oh yeah,
so
exactly
this does remind me of Earthrise Prime or whatever Prime, like because Prime was
that's the other definitely.
And I love him. He's brilliant. I love his legs.
He's leggy, and I guess the other thing I would say as well
going for miles
and
miles.
Don't really pose my characters static upright like that. I always have a pose, so for me, he's always going to be dynamic.
This is the thing. If you pose it, there was a photo I saw, which unfortunately I haven't got now because I didn't have time to download every single photo, and I found loads of them. And he was actually with bent legs. That actually looked a bit better, but you'd have to have him in that kind of pose to make it look more. And then it's your perspective as you're looking at it. I realize there'll be a reason with transformation and everything. They've had to make his legs longer. They're just a bit too long. And
you mentioned around like
easy tops.
You could say like the 2 of the 3 modes. I mean, that's so often with triple changes is that when it comes to a third, one mode generally struggles.
Yeah, there's always
you
one
don't expect it to be the robot mode though.
No, well, and we've discussed this on the show before. Almost all of my Transformers, I'd say, 99.99% of my Transformers are posed in robot mode when I display them. So it's just a bit disappointing from my point of view. But maybe when I see it in hand, and I'm sure I'll see it at one of the conventions when one of you guys or somebody else has got it, maybe I'll see it and change my mind once I've had a chance to have a look at it.
But you just hit
a good price.
It's awful.
Well, that also might be a possibility, and I might just tell them shit, especially when it's Legends and everybody keeps saying, you've got to buy Legends. And I go, nope.
It's a good price as well. It's £26, which is.
It kind of looks like it should be £26.
Yeah.
No,
and it is.
I actually expected that to be a lot more because normally these figures, I think Legends figures, seem to have gone up in price a little bit, especially when the ones that become triple changes.
Yeah, but maybe they knew how bad this was and went 26.
Well,
priced accordingly.
Taking the piss.
The equivalent.
Are you saying third party has a conscience?
But I do agree with the point. I do agree with the point about Netflix Prime because I love Netflix Prime, but he does. I still say Siege Prime is more in proportion and looks a little bit better than Netflix Prime. But Netflix Prime.
See, the thing about Netflix Prime, he's almost got like he's kind of got the aesthetics of what the Optimus Prime from the comics had. Optimus Prime, the comics, is quite leggy.
Yeah.
Well, that Optimus Prime there is £70 by comparison by the same company. So
you get what you pay for. Anyway, right, this thing is another one of the TFCon exclusives that we keep getting shown, and we're already chuffed when we live over here in the UK, and it's not always easy for us to get these things. So this is the Age of 3 and Up Ocular Max TFCon Orlando Remix Series RMX15 Vivace, I think that's how you pronounce it. Available from Toy Dojo in America, and I'm sure some of the companies over here might get hold of some of them. So if you like your tape bots, there you go.
Very cool.
It's like Voltron, doesn't he?
It does have that vault, yeah, very much so. And then this. So from MMC, they are doing as a TFCon exclusive again a version of their Chrome Dome, isn't it? Their IDW Chrome Dome, but this time done as the Joker. But we haven't yet seen the head, so each picture has the head obscured by the Joker's Decepticon. So we don't actually know what the head sculpt will look like yet, but it is going to be available at TFCon and Toy Dojo and blah blah blah. So I'm sure someone like Kapow will have them surely.
Yeah, I do like the idea of it. I mean, because this is to go really with their. I forget the original mold, but they did the Batman that turned into like a Batwing, didn't they? So I think the idea of having these two side by side would look quite cool. So yeah, no, I think it's a nice. I like the one with the cane, gold cane along gold Joker gun, ha-has written on it. It's nice little trick.
It ties into our conversation later on where we'll be talking about a crossover we would love to see, the best crossovers possible with Transformers. That's
what we're doing.
What a segue.
Oh, do you know, I'd love to say I'm surprised.
We've now got Pete in Hellfire now, so this is
they can cover. Cover for it. Beautiful. And that was the new. Sorry, I didn't actually say it. I just turned it off. I'd had enough.
No, that is cool. I've got
one more bit of news.
I'm just thinking next week is
sorry,
more big, won't it? It'll be like
we banned Alexis from it because he wasn't ready on time for the show.
I just can't help. I can't help looking at his head, thinking there's something about Mary because he did mention it in the chat before.
Alexis, talk to us about your code.
All right. So, we've been very blessed actually to have received a code for Show Z. Basically a code that will allow us to get support from Show Z, and we would love it if you supported us. So to do that, to kick it off, we're going to do a competition, and it's going to run until the 12th of January. And the way you enter the competition is you use the code, and when you've bought your item, you email us. We'll reveal the email, the show email. We've got a show email with your order number and your name, and that will go into the draw. And then we'll do the draw. I haven't worked out if we're going to do it live on the show or if we'll do it as a separate video. But we'll do the Wheel of Fortune style one where the elimination wheel, and the person who wins will win a prize, and that will be shipped to them, purchased from Show Z, and then shipped to them ideally before New Year. We don't know what the prize is just yet because we're still waiting for figures to be released.
Like you really got the detail on this.
No!
Sometime next year, there's a prize.
No.
It's going to rush before you're about to see New Year, weren't you? I hope you ship before the New Year.
Whoa. How can we ship before New Year? Yeah, before Chinese New Year. Ship before Chinese New Year.
That's in the January. You didn't say Chinese New Year.
Make an
loophole.
Sorry, Alexis, make an email account for this specifically. Just make a new one and then just use that. That way you won't have any spam going into it.
It's beads, Bisto. You'll get bead. No, I'm joking. Shows he wouldn't do that.
Yeah. So the show and the code is TF Show. So nice and simple, TF Show. So if you use that, and then don't we just use the show email? Is that the easiest thing?
Well, no, because it's so you can monitor it yourself and do everything, not so everyone else will have to work it, you know. It's
shared
because that stuff will get spammed.
Shared continuity.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's going to be hard to follow.
I thought it'd be good if people knew our email just because they could send in ideas as well of things that we topics for the show.
Or they could post on Facebook.
You can give me your email address.
News.
So there'll be a new, so we'll post it on Twitter, and we'll post it on Instagram, we'll post it on Facebook. So please share the love and share the code, and best of luck to everyone who enters in the competition.
So you can use that code as well as Fire One, because it's going to get over to a lot of people.
No.
Can you double up?
No.
So you need to pick.
You can only use one at a time.
So you need to pick a favourite then.
Alternate.
You do.
No, Pete. We can alternate. There's room for all of us.
Which one uses
doesn't
Right, okay, so we've got Rohan
code
ready
is TF
to go.
Show. TF Show, that's right. Somebody asked what's the code. It is TF Show, correct, Alexis?
It is TF Show. There it is.
Nice. Cool.
There you go.
Oh, Ian, I think you should change yours to your code as well. Is that the code?
Fight!
No. Against that hair, I never win.
You'll just get stuck in it, to be fair.
Because you can't support yourself, Ian's going to follow me and I'm going to follow Ian on it. So I think I should be able to pay for Ian's mortgage with the amount of my Transformers I buy.
What are you going to do with your Omega Lock, though? That's the thing.
What do you mean you can't support yourself?
I see.
Because there's rules.
right.
There's rules.
Let's
There's rules.
get Rohan on the show. So really exciting Rohan's corner there. He's going to go back in time to the very origins of Transformers and look at Microman. So it's now time for Rohan.
Rohan.
Rohan's corner. Rohan's corner.
That show's awesome. Awesome. It's so awesome. Oh, so awesome. 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 Doesn't Rohan's corner collect GoBots? That would be really late. One of the many robot franchises on his show. He treats them all the same. Awesome. 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 He's got a wall of fame.
Hello everyone and welcome back to Rohan's Corner. Thank you to my cohorts for that wonderful introduction as always. And this week I wanted to take you on a trip down memory lane, as I have done so recently when we talked about the Muffy and the Mysterions episode. This time I wanted to talk to you about the origins of Transformers, where they came from. As we all know, Takara were the origins of Transformers. That's where Hasbro licensed the figures from. However, if we look into Takara in a bit more detail, we can see that there were two real underlying lines. There was the Diaclone line, which is where the majority of the Autobot cars and the Optimus Prime and Ultra Magnus figures came from in 1984. However, there's also a Microman subline called Microchange, where a lot of figures came from. And I feel like in Transformers and in the community, we talk about Diaclone a lot, but people don't really talk about Microman or Microchange so much. I guess the two get mashed into one, and people focus on the one with more figures, which makes sense, especially considering that Diaclone was a bit more consistent in what it was putting out. However, there are a bunch of excellent figures that came out of Microchange and Microman, and that's what I want to focus on today, to talk to you about some of those, especially some of the unreleased ones, which are very cool and I would love to see come out in either the original guise or an updated version. You know, some of them which I didn't even know about or hadn't even realized existed until I started doing a little bit more digging. So let's go into it, shall we? Microman was a line of toys that were actually inspired in the late 60s, early 70s by the introduction of G.I. Joe figures from Hasbro. And Takara took it upon themselves to import and license those G.I. Joe figures. See a little bit of semblance of similarity here with the Transformers line into the Japanese market, and started fiddling with it for the Japanese market. And that's where Microman was born from. And there was a combination of sort of little human type figures with little robot figures and the such likes. It was quite eclectic, but underneath the Microman banner, there was a subline called Microchange, and that's where the majority of the Transformers-based characters that we know and love today from Generation 1 for that subline came from. And we think about the types of characters that came from that line. There's Megatron, there's Soundwave, there's Ravage, Laserbeak and Buzzsaw, Frenzy and Rumble. And then we have all the G1 Minibot Autobots, specifically Bumblebee, Cliffjumper, and Bumper came from that line. As we know, the Mysterions line got incorporated, somehow wrapped up into that line, and we got Gears and Windcharger, Brawn and Huffer from those as well. And then there were a bunch of other bits that we got there. We got Reflector in that line from Microchange. Soundwave came along later as MC10. And at the same time, there were a few coming out later in 1984, which were the likes of Perceptor and Blaster, which obviously made their way into the movie in 1986, and also the G1 Season 2 in 1985. Now, in addition to all of these characters that we know and love, there were additional figures that we never got to see in the Transformers line, which I think were pretty cool, especially the likes of Browning, who many of you will know as an alternate Megatron or an alternate gun-shaped robot, but at the same time there was also alternates to the Wolf, the PK-38, because while that was the basis for the Megatron mold, there were a Smith & Wesson gun, there was a Magnum gun, there were other types of weapons that were done for this line which actually were probably just as good as Megatron if you look at them. But Hasbro chose Megatron as the leader of the Decepticons and didn't choose to import those other figures into the line in any way, shape or form, which is a bit of a shame. At the same time, we had a few extra cassettes, Jet Heli and Battle Bike, which are some awesome looking cassettes, especially Jet Heli. I love the look of that thing. I really do wish these were released subsequently, made again as part of a reissue series, or made in a generation's line update and bring them back like they've done with the one original characters. And actually, within the Microman line itself, there was 3 pack of micro robots, 3 different lines, can't really lines, some figures of micro robots, of which my favourite is Bull Sonic, who looks absolutely fantastic as a robot and as a jet. And I'm not, again, sure why this figure wasn't incorporated in Transformers. For whatever reason, they didn't pick it. A couple of other figures that didn't make it into Transformers were the Watch Robos that many of us may have had. I certainly had a couple, me and my brother. And the Binoculars Robo, which wasn't very popular. I didn't see very many of them. It's quite rare today. And there were obviously some variants of some of the figures, like Perceptor came in his Black Magnificus version, the Diamond one everyone talks about, as well as Blaster coming in a multitude of different colours, a blue Blaster, a red Blaster, etc, etc. And then in 1984 they started to go down a different route for micro change. They started to create things called the Meteor Bots, which is pretty much what it sounds like. They have a lot of similarities with what the Mysterions were doing. They were just little round balls or meteors that transformed into robots. And then they started doing Lockbots as well. Again, the similarities with Mysterion's range. So we're not 100% sure. Maybe some of these were incorporated from the Mysterion's line. I don't know. And there was an unreleased figure called Beam Robo who looked really cool. He could be almost a precursor to Shockwave to an extent, that sort of shape of alternate mode. So loads and loads within this line. And I feel like it's underappreciated. I don't know how you all feel about it. Did you know about all of these figures, especially the ones that were never brought into Transformers? Would you like to see more incarnations of these being brought back to life, either in their original guise or an updated version, like I said? And you know, where would it have gone? I mean, if we look at what happened to the micro change line, there were subsequently a load of Zone and Victory type figures that were released, but a lot of them had human counterparts or G.I. Joe style action figures to go with them. And so the line became slightly different. This is when obviously Transformers started to take off, and so it became different kind of focus. Ultimately, Microman and Microman brought back up with the Diaclone, and obviously Diaclone continued to produce more and more figures, which were eventually incorporated in some way into the Transformers series. But a lot of these unreleased ones, I think, are still really cool. I hope that's been informative. I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Rohan's Corner. Hopefully you've seen something that you've never seen before. Who knows? Anywho, thank you for joining me this week. I look forward to seeing you again next time. Back to the studio.
Transformers, Rohan's in disguise.
So, Rohan, I think we broke your audio somehow. What we'll do is we'll get that re-uploaded and we will sort that out, because that was fucking awesome. It was a really good episode.
Man's knowledge has no bounds.
Ah, he's a genius.
Exquisite.
But yeah, we'll try and get that sorted. So apologies for that. It might be the internet. I know we've had awful internet problems at work all day. We had a real serious crash just before I came on the show. I had to sort out. Well, did sort out. Just spoke to people. But it's all going pants with the weather tonight. But hopefully now you can hear us loud and clear. I need to go and buy some starships. So I'm going to get us into the next section, which will be foreplay. So guys, foreplay tonight.
I just wanted to show this because Lex just asked. This is what I picked up from the sale. I got it for like something about 40 quid.
You make a big screen, Paul.
It's awesome.
How are you going to use your diorama, Jamie?
I don't know. I might use it a year from now. Could be 2 weeks from now. I don't know. But I just thought it would be something fun to potentially use. And if not, I'll just give it to a children's hospital or something like that.
Very good.
Nice.
Very good.
But it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, that Playmobil's awesome. Right, so let's do foreplay. So foreplay tonight is our favourite ever Decepticon ever. Most brilliant, amazing, sexual, stunning Decepticon we can think of. That is the foreplay tonight.
These are sex people.
What do you mean?
They're sex swappers. Lynn, this is DEFCON 1. Look. Look. Don't make the same noise as them. Don't think you want to join in.
And we have to spear to try and get a Star Trek ship. But you guys, crack on. You crack on.
Bye.
Bye.
Miss you.
Who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Good man.
He says so commandingly.
I said that defiantly.
Take control.
Yes. So it's basically the best Decepticon, isn't it?
That the greatest Decepticon of all time. Nothing.
Yes.
Debatable, and, but what is it? Yeah.
That's the whole point of this.
And to be honest, when I think of the greatest Decepticon of all time, who envisions that Decepticon? Who is the one you kind of first saw as the ultimate bad guy? Then I have to think, it's Megatron.
Wheelie. Oh, right.
Well, Wheelie was going to be my, backup choice.
Ultimate.
Who should get a Decepticon to die.
So bad.
But it's basically this guy, Megatron. And I mean, in the comics, I want the repaint of Megatron where he's holding the golden axe and the gladiatorial is the gold R.
Nice.
I think he would be an ideal mode for the Frankenstein kind of thing, resurrected, especially the Transformers the movie, didn't become Galvatron. What could have happened? What if he just floated back into and someone else like Starscream tried to resurrect him? But yes, I just think he's got the mode for it and stuff like that, and the size as well. Impact is too small for Frankenstein. It's meant to be fucking big. Sorry, I shouldn't have swore there. But yes, so it's Megatron, and to me, a Megatron, he was evil. I don't care what IDW where they were trying to justify that somehow working class people's only answer to politics is to commit genocide. No, we don't need to do that. We could form parties and change things and provide the NHS and provide universal healthcare. We don't need to go, let's wipe everyone out because we're really angry and we don't know how to articulate that anger into anything else apart from mass violence and extinction. But Megatron, that's what I like the original character of Megatron and some other versions, where he's just pure evil. He's doing it because he's evil. He just wants power. Power completely corrupts. And that's not to say I don't like the new animated Earthrise version of the Megatron, because he's quite a cool character and he's a different universe as I'm concerned, and I like that. But when it comes to Decepticons, this is it. This is the evil swine who started it all off. This is the one who was the driving force. And unlike other sort of movements, which if you were to look at a parallel with human history, he started it and stuck with it. No one really managed to move him from his throne. It was only because the ship he invaded, Optimus Prime, crashed and he was stuck for 4 million years. And then the Decepticons kind of fell apart into a rabble of warlords and stuff.
I thought in War Dawn, he wasn't the first one. I thought he came along after the war was already started in War Dawn.
Not in Marvel G1. Marvel G1, no. He was the one there.
In War Dawn, he was, sorry to talk over Jeremy, but yeah, in War Dawn, he was still the one leading the charge, wasn't he? Prime came in. Sorry, Jake.
And that's the thing. He was basically the driving force from the onset. And I did like some of the Marvel stories, where you got the annuals, they had the stories and stuff. It was like lots of words, not less pictures. But, I loved that sort of giving you more insight into the character. But yeah, so it's definitely be for me is Megatron, the ultimate Decepticon. And he's just, and I love the sort of the new versions of Megatron, and I hope to get the Takara 3-pack set, and I'll have the sort of other version of Megatron, which I didn't actually pick up. So that's quite good for me. But he just symbolizes power, and just big shoulders, the big chest, and massive, huge gun. What a phallic symbol that is. He had it all. To be honest, as young kids, we were getting groomed and we had no idea. This guy's the epitome of evil.
Suits you, sir.
I could imagine other people picking other Decepticons, but they would be nothing without the father of them all, the one who led the charge. They are literally would be nothing without them. They don't have the charisma. Some of them are evil, genocidal maniacs themselves, but Megatron had the charisma to have people believe in something and keep a bunch of bloodthirsty maniacs under control, who at any time, like Starsky, every day of the week was trying to think of ways to kill Megatron, and they were all too terrified of what would happen if they failed, so they didn't. And to have that type of power where his personality was his armor more than actually the embodiment he had. It's just an amazing character, and I just don't think you could ever do a character like that justice enough, because he was evil, but it doesn't mean just because he was evil, the protagonist, but he was one-dimensional.
Sorry, Jay. I said in a video I did before that Megatron is the most important Transformers character, because without Megatron, if Megatron didn't exist, Transformers arguably doesn't exist. To the point that you made, if you had another Decepticon leader, would it really hold up to the stats?
The thing about Megatron is he's almost like a reverse of all the superhero characters. When you look at superhero characters in comics, they create the nemesis, don't they? The superheroes all seem to create their nemesis. They say Batman, if it wasn't for Batman, you would have had the Joker, etc. With Megatron, literally, if you go by the cartoon, he created Optimus Prime. If he hadn't killed Orion Pax or badly injured the Orion Pax in Aerial, it wouldn't have been an Optimus Prime. So he actually created his own nemesis, and to me, that's a standing of a great character.
That's poetic. I like that. Damn it. I really like that.
Yes, that's me. I could just keep going talking about Megatron forever, and I'll just go in a downward spiral of depression. But I just think he's an awesome character, and he's just got so many layers. But yeah,
I'll go next.
Wheelie?
I don't know. How do you follow? How do you follow that?
It's I'm surprised you nominated yourself.
Well, I don't mind a challenge. Can you just share that for me, Jamie?
Yes, sure.
Everyone loves the challenge wank. Here it comes.
Yeah, so I get all the Megatron love, but it's got to be Soundwave. Soundwave is just been at the core of Transformers from the very beginning, to the point where right at the start of Transformers, there was a point where a lot of media was starting to be released in artwork that actually had Soundwave fighting Optimus Prime, which has led some people to speculate that he was actually going to be the leader of the Decepticons at the beginning. Now, whether that's true or not, we might never know, but he's been around for many, many, many years, and he's always there in every single version of Transformers, pretty much. Possible exception of Beast Wars, you get Soundwave, but we don't count Beast Wars. And looks cool.
Shut up.
He's a cool character. What his design, he is interesting, despite being so monotone and seeming to be so cold all the time.
Charismatic.
He's the power behind. Hey, nobody calls Soundwave charismatic. He's the power behind the throne. At the end of the day, no matter who the Decepticon leaders are, he's always there. He's always valued by every single one of them. And there's a reason behind that. And you could argue he is literally Megatron's right-hand man. I mean, he's the loyalist in most media. He's the one that supports him. And we all remember Transformers the movie when he actually picks up the badly injured Megatron and carries him to Astro Train. Although he didn't actually stop him from being thrown out the shuttle. But we can ignore that little bit because that's just a little thing. And then the toys. I mean, the toys of Soundwave are always fantastic, which you can't always say about Megatron. We've had some stinkers for Megatron, but we've had some great, unbelievable Soundwaves. The Masterpiece toy, which just looks amazing.
There it is.
Even the Core class, which is literally loved
Everyone
and
says it's
lauded
good.
by everybody who's got one, that it's such an incredible bot, including you, Jamie. When you got
He
it,
just
you said
doesn't do
yourself,
bad
fucking
toys. I've said
masterpiece.
that, doesn't he?
This is it. He can't. He literally can't. He's that good. He can't do bad toys. And then the original, the OG, the G1 Soundwave. And I had to do a bit of research to check this actually was the G1 box, because there's so many times you see the reissues, but this is from a website where they've listed the G1 figures. And then just the fact he's cool, his minions, his little dudes, Frenzy down the front, Rumble there. All right.
Yeah, nice correct. No,
and then you've got Lazy and Buzzsaw. Hasbro gives a Buzzsaw, you swines. All of them. Ratbat. I mean, Ratbat got to be leader of the Decepticons for a time, at least in the comic books, the original Marvel G1 comic books. I mean, how cool is this bot? He is the ultimate. He looks cool. He is cool. And we're getting kind of a new one. We're getting a reissue anyway. And it's going to be slightly different from the originals. The colors are going to be slightly different, but it's still a G1 Soundwave. And even though when I first glanced at this, when I first saw it, I kind of went, I'm not sure that looks as good. It's grown on me already, and I've got it pre-ordered, and I can't wait to get. Did you see
the paint defects when you zoomed in?
Well, possibly, but we try not to pay much attention to that. But there will be some. It's Hasbro. There's paint defects on almost everything that I can do at the moment. And then we're also getting a G.I. Joe crossover of is it called the Thunder Machine, I think? And it looks freaking awesome. It's just
Ravaged.
amazing.
tie-in.
I know it kind of links into the next thing, but is there a better Transformer in the world? Well, at least Decepticon. Well, there's Double Dealer, but apart from him, no, it's got to be Soundwave.
Would he? Oh, I know he was always subordinate to Megatron.
Are you asking me a question?
Would he be able to beat Megatron in a fight? Because he never stood up against him. But
no, I don't think so. Just because in the G1 comics,
with all his minions,
he knew when Megatron was going insane, and he actually said there was no way he could take on Megatron.
I mean, he was scared of Ratbat, wasn't he? His own cassette. He was scared of Ratbat, his own cassette.
Well, that's the bit where Ratbat being leader of Decepticons just never made sense. Also, I know they had mass shifting, but he became pretty big Ratbat when he was leading them, just hanging upside down. But anyway, I don't want to rant on all day about how awesome Soundwave is.
That picture there is the best idea, but I think they're going to give us a masterpiece. Ravage as a chug.
That would be cool. I like the fact he's blue as well. I know he's supposed to be black, but I like the fact he's blue. Anyway, everybody remembers. We all know it. Soundwave superior.
That's my shirt. It says that's actually what I've got on today. But no, just quickly.
I noticed your t-shirt. That's why I jumped in.
No, I haven't picked him. I knew you would as well.
We should have discussed this before, shouldn't we?
I'll very quickly just go on Soundwave, Andy, because you mentioned it. I loved in IDW like a couple of things. Like there's one in the All Hail Megatron bit, where Frenzy first comes out in the All Hail Megatron series and causes violent nightmares to everyone around him. And it just says like no one is immune. And you just see Soundwave's eyes. It says, well, almost no one. And it was also the bit where spoilers, but it's been out long enough now, where one of them is no more. I'll say that much. And even though Soundwave is so far away, that's one of his cassettes, he still feels it. I love that connection. And it was explained in IDW as well. So surprisingly, for a cold character, a few words, there's a lot of history and depth to that character. One of the most iconic.
Definitely. He's got to be up there. And that's not to say necessarily that he is. This is the whole thing about us doing it. It's so subjective and everybody's going to have different opinions. But I think many of us will be around the same area. I'd be interested if somebody's going to throw a real curveball in here and give us a Decepticon we really hadn't thought of. Alexis. But we'll see. Yeah. Evil bastard.
Right, as I'm running out of choices, I better jump in there. Since just nicked mine.
I'm sorry. I didn't know
You were always going to choose Soundwave. I knew right from the start you were going to choose Soundwave.
And I'm now making myself fly.
Soundwave?
No, but just still.
No.
You don't have to change.
Has to be Galvatron.
But we know it's Soundwave, so it's
But you was going to choose.
Has to be Galvatron.
You played yourself, Pete.
No, he would have been my second choice, obviously.
Your second choice.
It's really weird. Sorry, I don't want to interrupt Pete, but I know a lot of people are commenting in the chat saying this, they're having sound problems. During the Jamie's discussion about Megatron, I turned my sound off and I put my sound on my phone so I could listen to the show. I wasn't having any problems. Like, everybody that I could hear sounded fine. So I don't know if this is something to do with people's internet connections where you are because of the weather, because it is affecting things. But apologies if you are having problems with the sound. It might be something that might actually be out of our control.
Shall we do a sound check? I could be brown, I could be blue.
I thought we were all going to clap. Does Paul know that he's muted?
Yeah, no, he's been muted for a while, actually.
Back my fucking face off. No, it's, I just checked on YouTube. Yeah, the same. It's coming through fine on the YouTubes. It might just be the live stream, so apologies for that. It might just be because of our voices are crowdy old 40-year-old something
And we can't
voices.
do anything.
Not quite 40, thank you. Still under 40, thank you.
You don't look it though. You don't look it. And you make fun of Pete.
He says with a massive grey beard.
Message me, go, Jimmy, if you died, you'd be a grey yet because I'm coming on and I don't.
You said you wouldn't tell. You promised.
If you're having sound issues, we'll just pause it. Wait a bit. Give your internet a chance to catch up. Or
I really thought, Paul, you were going to say if you had sound issues, I feel bad for you, son. Got 99 problems with
the sound train one.
99 days, but sound ain't one.
If we're starting to speak with German accents and there's a crazy 70s music, you've got the wrong thing on.
You may have downloaded the wrong Transformers.
You might be watching porn, and that's
you might have downloaded the right one. Send us the link.
That's not Transformers the show.
So if you're having sound issues, maybe pause it, wait for it to load up, give it.
And Alexis's code will not work
on. By the way, I got my fucking starship.
Works across both channels.
It's sold out almost instantly. The USS Excelsior NX 2000 XL version, which is it's like £300 because it never ever really came out. But they've had, as I always say, like they get a little bit in, like a little bit of stock, sells out straight away, and they had it up for like £39. And I got one.
How much?
Wow.
It goes for 300.
300 down to 39 quid.
And you can't buy more than one. If you try and buy more than one, they block your order.
I haven't seen savings like that since Sports Direct. Well done, son.
Right, cool.
Like Ashley reference.
People still having issues with the sound. Press pause.
But thankfully, the visuals are great, so
give it an update.
Should we sit here silently for 2 minutes so everyone can catch up?
I'm not sure that's how
it works. I thought he was going to say, shall we just rewind it a bit and edit?
Sorry, what is it?
There's so much sexy.
I don't know. I've not seen Ed in the chat before, but
thanks.
kind.
Right. Come on. Who is next?
I'll go next.
I thought Pete was doing Galvatron.
Oh, sorry, it's not finished. That's it.
No.
We all know you wanted Soundwave. Just say it was Soundwave.
Yeah, it's true.
Say it was Soundwave.
I'm merely filling for time. I'm trying to get it to 2. I'm trying to get it to 2 hours.
Oh, we'll get it to 2 hours.
Symbolizes everything a Decepticon should be. Batshit crazy, ridiculously strong, no shame, completely evil. A Decepticon, every Decepticon should aspire to be.
And he's purple.
Well, nuts though.
Because sometimes he's grey. But anyway.
Good choice.
Good choice. Yeah.
Great banter. I will go next then. I choose.
Cheers. I'm here for the bants. Bear bants.
We know how you got
Phantom
you
of-
2-1 now. This is what it's
Phantom of the Opera.
The
Archbishop of
Archbishop of
Banterbury.
Banterbury is in town.
There you are.
His
Phantom
Holiness.
My favourite Transformer ever
love it.
is the Decepticon, and I thought it was so cool. I used to pretend he was Starscream when I was a kid. Then I realised he's a triple changer. He does 3 great modes. Like every mode is on point. He's G1, and it is 8-face, and oh god, I love this guy. And he kind of set a really high standard. Sorry, Andy and Pete. It
It's
set a
fine.
really high standard.
I will make way for 8-face.
I just realised
all
why-
Transformers.
Is that Andy and is that Pete?
Yeah.
Probably the other way around, but all right.
Such a bitch.
I know. I can get away with it.
No,
Oi,
I always
oi.
thought ginger people were nice.
Oi, Gateface.
They're not.
Hot
Because they
kettle.
had to
Andy. Hot
be.
kettle.
Love you.
Yeah.
So that's who I chose. I loved him, absolutely loved him as a kid. He said, kind of what Transformers. I can't remember if I think this is one of the ones Hasbro made, wasn't it? It wasn't a Takara, it wasn't copied across. Hasbro came up with the design, I think. I thought it was just such a triumph, as Dave says. In all 3 months, I always wanted Snapdragon, never had Snapdragon. I've never held a Snapdragon. But he looks brilliant in a lot of modes, and just to me, it represented at the time just one of my favourite toys that I'd ever owned. And since then, it's just a massive part of engineering. I took some really good photos. I'll stick them up. I don't know if people follow me on Twitter, but I've got this Paul's photo website where I stick photos up.
Maz, if you're watching, which you're probably not, but if you're watching, Maz, I'm so sorry.
Follow me there. Great photos I do. That's one I took of 8-face, which is really good. And I even hid his arms. I stuck it into Photoshop so you can't
He's
see.
got VHS. He's got VHS.
Yeah, it's impossible to
He
see.
hasn't.
This,
He hasn't, because I'm actually painted over it. So gutted. Anyway, there was a way you could do it back in the day. I'll just get Maz's photo. My photo back up. You could see, you can't see, but the black bits there, you could flip them around, put them under the wing, and you could turn the hands round, and it would hide the visible hand syndrome, so you wouldn't even see it. So,
there.
Brilliant. Like in my head, I had so much canon for him as a kid because he entered every single story I would have, like playing with other toys. He would be, when I used to read things, I was always on the lookout for like 8-face. So
how many times
to me,
did you enter
he
him
played
into
a
your
massive
roleplay?
bit.
How many times did you enter him into your roleplay?
My childhood. When I was 8 years old.
That's a different thing, Alexis. That's Transformers: The Show After Dark.
I thought that was. That's not what the
different type of headmaster.
I just realised that 8-face is your double dealer, Paul.
It kind of is.
I found a way to get double dealer involved in any toy line story.
I mean, when you look at 8-face, he is a fantastic character. I mean, transforms into ape and also got a killed jet. Who just didn't want a mechanical ape?
Exactly.
Going around and smashing things.
Who gets his arm ripped off in one of the comics and then uses that arm to smack the crap out of the guy who ripped his arm off.
Go, we'll play it, Andy. We'll play it. And then die of blood loss.
He taught me.
What a way to go, Jamie. Well, that's
many
commitment.
life lessons from 8-face. And
if you get your arm ripped off,
today,
beat somebody with it.
He just didn't have enough time, did he? He didn't have enough time in the comics
Yeah,
or
8-face.
anything to flesh him out. But I didn't need that because I fleshed him out in my own mind with the stories I used to play as a kid. And then they fucking ruined it with CJ Face. Cunts. Who would like to go next?
Everybody loves CJ Face.
I'll go next to get mine out of the way.
Show your love for CJ Face. Paul will love it.
Ian. If it's CJ Face, I'm quitting the show.
It's not. I'm sorry, that's your bag, and it won't be CJ Face for a start. So, anyway, well, maybe it will, just to piss you off. So, I was torn between 2, but I went with the shock horror option. My boy.
Ooh.
Pride of the Pack. So, he was a bit like, as you said, Paul, he was the one, Razor Claw, for anyone who doesn't know. He was the one I always looked out for because you didn't really get animals in G1. So to get a lion, and I've heard online when it comes to Predacons, due to their colours, they should have been Autobots. They should have been the good guys because they were Autobot colours, if you like. I can see that. But for the very brief time that we got Razorclaw in, you got a sense of leader of the pack, wanting to do the hunt, wanting to have the turmoil. What we didn't get in a cartoon, or even Marvel Comics, to what I think anyway, is that he was going to be a challenger for leadership of the Decepticons. And there is kind of talk of that very briefly in IDW. And I think, wouldn't that be cool to have the guy who is the leader of the Predacons, arguably the strongest combiner, potentially leading the Decepticons? So that would be quite cool. I loved the mode that he would turn into. I would love the fact that it was just pure aggression and hunt, like toying with the opponents. And if I do a Jamie S transformation, give me a minute. It's like you never know. And yeah, I think he's so cool. And still is just to this day. So he's always been my favorite. And I was very lucky to pick him up at TF Nation. So yeah, I just think he's an underutilized Transformer, but I will say individual members of combiner teams often are. Whilst we do know of a Silverbolt, we do know of an Onslaught, generally you're overshadowed by the other members or the combiner itself.
I think overshadowed by a few members in your time, mate.
In this chat right now, you might say. So yeah,
it's like Hot Hobbies is with us.
Don't you mean our members?
Maybe Hot Hobbies is with us.
Well, he is. He's in the chat. Evening.
Yeah. But anyway, that's my choice, and I do think he could be a contender for leadership of the Decepticons. Yeah,
that would be a good four-play discussion another time. Like individual members of combiner teams that they should have had like a strike on their own, because one or two have. I've seen like
first aid, yeah.
And
I think
Swindle. I mean,
oh
Swindle
yeah,
had great combatants, didn't he? So that'd be an interesting one.
Now that Ian has practically chosen the Beast Wars character. Did you watch Beast Wars first, or did you find Razorclaw first?
It was actually GD1 before Beast Wars. I'm just
it was okay. Just checking.
Canonically,
he's made a metal.
And someone put it in the chat. Actually, technically, there was a leader of the Predacons, which was Megatron.
Don't try and Beast Wars knowledge me. Come on.
Oh, this will be entertaining. Has everybody gone? RFI? Has everybody gone? Oh, we've still got Alexis smirk on his face.
Yeah,
too.
I made sure I got in there before he did.
Strap in, lads.
I thought about picking.
Just going to Chris up the fence. Be right back.
Because I thought about picking Beast Wars Megatron because he was like maniacal. He
Decepticons. Beast Wars Megatron's a Predacon.
He was the last.
Good luck.
Decepticon, wasn't he? Because he destroyed all the Transformers on Cybertron, didn't he? And he was the last. Well, Chris last one. He was the last Decepticon left, right? He killed their spark. So you can say that's. Oh, spoilers. Sorry, in case you haven't seen that bit. But I haven't chosen him.
I was a descendant of the Decepticon. Top 5 Decepticons, Alexis. Decepticons.
I thought about choosing.
But that's why you didn't choose it, because you realised he wasn't a Decepticon.
Because Pete chose Galvatron, and obviously they get more powerful as you go through the seasons, like to Power Masters and to Victory and all that. They get more powerful, right? The good guys and the bad guys get more powerful, right? So Leo Kaiser would be the most powerful combiner, potentially, right? Because he took on Star Saber and almost won as well. But my choice, I'm surprised no one did this actually. It's a pretty obvious one. Who the
longest intro
ever? For this,
on the watch.
I need to go.
This better be good.
Oh, we're going on a journey. I told you.
He's had all this time to get it ready.
He's not a Decepticon, you dick.
Oh my god, mate.
Pick a Decepticon.
Kick him. A faction. He's a planet. He's a god.
He's a bad guy, but he's not a Decepticon.
He created Galvatron, so technically
it doesn't mean he's a Decepticon.
That doesn't make him a Decepticon.
Has he got Decepticon insignia on him? He hasn't got Decepticon insignia on him. He never does.
I haven't transformed him.
No, you haven't.
Imagine, if you will, a world where Alexis prepares for foreplay like everybody else.
That's a utopic world you dream.
Rather than seeing the big thing that he sees.
Stop. Oh. Let's just let him do it, because otherwise we'll be here all night.
No,
he can do it right.
Do that all the time. Pick a Decepticon. It was simple, and you didn't do it.
Pick Starscream. I was going to choose.
Just say Soundwave. Just say Soundwave.
I didn't Starscream.
I didn't.
Nick, if you're in that chat saying poor Alexis, I swear to God, I
his
swear
hair
to God,
must
next time I see
transform
you.
somehow. I mean, nobody can have hair like that normally.
I thought he. All right,
He's not a Decepticon. He's a freaking god.
Beastman's Megatron. My set.
But it's Beastman's Megatron's a Predacon. You're picking stuff that are not Decepticons.
You could say Reflector. You could say Shockwave.
What about Psycho? Psycho. Just go nuts.
Because he's a bad
Scooby-Doo.
Cobra Commander. No, wait, no. I mean, that kind of works. He's kind of
Why?
works.
Why is there so many poor Alexis?
If it's G1, if it's G1,
we'll quit the show, all of us.
If it's G1 Decepticon, fine. Shockwave, I think, is probably the most reliable.
There you go, Shockwave. Fine.
Shockwave.
7 times a charm.
Thank you, Jeff, for helping.
The only thing that stopped, he was the one that saved all the Decepticons in the cartoon. He was the one in the comic books that took over the Decepticons first of all. He was the one in IDW that basically had a maniacal plan and pretty much wiped out the whole galaxy had by himself, right? He was the one that he only got stopped in Transformers the movie by Unicron, right? Otherwise, he would have continued, right? Because he was too powerful. He controlled Cybertron. Really.
In Marvel G1 comics, they actually thought Shockwave was more powerful than Megatron, didn't they?
Correct.
Yeah.
He beat him sometimes in combat, wouldn't he?
He did,
Yes.
yeah.
So
that's
my choice was Shockwave, but I drifted onto Unicron because I thought, why didn't they pick Unicron? I thought, why didn't they pick Unicron's clearly the most powerful, right?
Decepticon, and he never was.
Yeah.
Another time to prove I'm smarter than the rest of them.
That small loophole. I was preparing for Shockwave. I thought someone was going to choose Shockwave, so that's why I was waiting last.
Clearly, all of that hair product is set through to your brain.
The chemicals.
Oh, God. Is that everyone done now?
Oh, we're all done.
So done. So done, mate.
Let's do a discussion.
We now return to the Transformers.
For the discussion tonight, we're going to talk about our biggest crossover, or the crossover we'd want the most with Transformers. So go for it. Who would like to go first? Has anyone given this any thoughts?
I can go first.
Jamie.
Scooby-Doo. That's it.
Thanks for coming, Jack. Well done. Good night.
Go on, Pete.
I would like to see like a Titan, maybe a base mode of 40 Towers. Bringing British comedy back.
Titan Basil Fawlty.
And it could come with little mini characters.
Basil Fawlty.
Yeah.
Yes,
and
what
a
you want?
little Manuel. Yeah.
Manuel, oh my God, that would be brilliant.
And
Aslab.
a little
You have to unlock
yeah.
it. That's the tea.
I was thinking, I think British comedy.
God, we're
I
old.
think
You're actually going to run with this, aren't you?
Yeah, no, because then you could move on to Only Fools and Horses and have a transforming Robert Reliant.
I mean, that sounds brilliant for a start.
I think that'd be
So-
cool.
I can't believe we haven't had that.
We can do
Yeah,
that.
we
We can go to the hotel, Pete. It's in Burnham. It's not far from us, actually. We can go to the hotel. The 40 hours where it's full filmed.
Alexis, the Robin Reliant is actually the Robin Reliant's kid goes to the same school as Alexis' kids, and he's often at the football practice.
He's a part of Alexis's cricket club.
He's in the cricket club.
Went drinking with them last week, didn't you?
£9 for a half. Anyway,
Right, I'll go for a sensible one. It's not a silly one. It's not funny at all. It's a proper sensible one. It's the only thing fuck off. So the only one go for is it's got to be Thundercats. I just feel it's the same time
Strong
period.
choice.
It was the same drawings and stuff. Thundercats was probably a little bit more advanced, but that G1.5, if you just integrated them, I think they integrate well. I think that'd be cool. And can you imagine Titan class? Was it not the big Panther? The thing that you've got, Alexis, which cost £39, but we pretend it was actually £390. The Thunder Tank, a transforming Thunder Tank, would be amazing.
That would be good.
Yeah, and I loved I love Star Trek, and I saw the crossover comic with Transformers, It just didn't feel right. And I think that's the thing. It didn't feel right. G.I. Joe kind of feels almost right. I think
The thing is,
Thundercats does
like
feel
you just
right.
said, the Star Trek one didn't really it worked probably as a comic book, but the idea of the Transformers transforming into them doesn't work as well. And like the Star Wars crossover they did should have been brilliant. It should have been amazing. And a lot of the toys were basically crap. I mean, the vehicle modes look good, or decent at least, but the actual robots were awful, largely.
Very hit and miss.
Very much. Yeah, definitely. So that's it. It's a sensible choice. If I was going for a silly choice, Fake Taxi, 100%.
I felt you were going to say. Oh, I can't wait till the reveal that crossover.
I have no understanding of what that.
Mark will be so excited.
Didn't see that coming.
Oh. Anyway,
you'll pay your fair wheelie one way or another. Right, who would like to go next?
Can I say a legit choice, Paul? If you can share this. My choice would actually be, and I did it as a setup, and it was funny because when I did it as a setup, a lot of people in the Transformers fandom and Facebook complained. I had lots of complaints, but actually caused my account not to be able to post anything. But I think that was someone in because I had a Halo character mixed with Transformers, and a lot of the Transformer people didn't like that, and they sort of G1 thing.
Seriously,
but I think the one guy who was complaining was the other guy who complained because I used insignias and stuff like that, to stop people stealing my pictures. And he was in the Transformers UK forum, and he got removed. And since then, I've had no more complaints. So I think that guy had a issue with my pictures or at the show. So at least now I can post on Facebook again, because I was just getting complaints all the time and it was stupid.
Yeah, but he was a paedophile.
But my idea was Halo, Master Chief, and I love that. And I love
no strikes now, boys. No strikes now.
You saved it there, Alexis.
Allegedly. But I always liked the idea of Master Chief. I liked the idea that the humans went to war with the Decepticons mostly, and Master Chief was more than a match for these guys. He was hunting them down. It's like a cat and mouse, and I think with characters like Master Chief, or other like Halo type esque characters, because they ended up making a lot of these sort of like Master Chiefs. I think it'd be brilliant, and I just had the idea of, I just think they worked well, and I almost think with Master Chief being like a 7 foot plus Goliath as well, it'd be more a bigger stature to go after these guys.
So
and I just like the idea, and I just.
That's really weird. There must be some simpatico going on here, Jamie, because I was literally sitting here thinking Halo would work really well, and it must be because of your photos.
It's because you've seen my photos.
Exactly.
The flex, the gun show.
I do. It makes me want to take more photos of Halo type characters and Halo situations and move away from not always doing sort of Transformer pictures, because I do like the idea, and that's why I like the idea of crossovers. And of course, I picked the Scooby-Doo toys. I don't know what the fuck I'm going to do there. But
those great shouts. They got A-Team. Jason the Wheeled Warriors.
Jason the what?
Jason the Wheeled Warriors. Drew said Doom. That's great. Loads of great ones. Mad Max. Rose.
Oh, he's ruined it now.
Fuck off, Rohan.
Well, that's Rohan.
Everyone go on there, don't you? Ruin it for everyone.
Jesus. I'm surprised no one said the obvious one, right? It's
I haven't gone yet, but
I mean,
yeah, that's true.
I'll just replace you with Alexis. Ian.
Well, actually, Bisto beat me to the punch, but I was thinking, and I've said it before, Warhammer 40k. I felt that you could do like little tabletop miniatures of Transformers quite easily, and I've dabbled in Warhammer before with the painting. Got frustrated because I can never do it as well as I'd want to. But I love the idea of proper army building, and just having. You think of some of the Joy Toy stuff that you collected, Paul. Like when you get into some of the Terminators, the Devastators, and the vehicles, you get really big size stuff. You could do that on Cybertronian settings so easily. You could have an Omega Supreme, you could have a Bruticus, and you could make them, assemble them. You wouldn't be able to pose them; they'd be statues, but you could paint them. That'd be money on the table, surely. So yeah, I don't know why that hasn't been done, or just it doesn't have to be Warhammer, but figurines like a play set, a strategy game. There's plenty out there. So yeah, that would have been a great choice. But no, not you guys are brilliant ones.
Thank you. I think it's awesome. It's an awesome choice. It'd also be great to have a bit more of that darkness that you have in sort of Warhammer. Not probably like so far that dark.
It got very dark Warhammer, doesn't
well,
it?
You think
a bit of that darkness.
The Horus Heresy stuff gets really sort of, like how far that goes. You can go with that way with Transformers if you wanted. There's history there that you could adapt. It does get very dark. It goes very off.
There's got to be a limit, but you stop at Dark Elder and go, no.
Well, you got to like Chaos Marines. It does get very twisted.
That's what you do.
But you're exactly right. Horus is like Megatron, isn't he? He goes through, like, you could almost be a champion of him for so long throughout the story and think he's doing right, and then at the last minute he's not.
Yeah.
Cool.
I've got a couple. So one of them is possibly fairly obvious. We already had a slight crossover, but only in comic book form. So I'd want Visionaries, because it would get the Visionaries back in, and we need a way to get them back in. Not the crossover comic we had, which was okay, but they changed too much in terms of the Visionaries, and the characters weren't recognizable necessarily as the characters, which a lot of people complained about. But I still think you could have, if you're going to do the crossovers like the Jurassic Park and all the other ones that we've had, and the G.I. Joe, you could have the vehicles from Visionaries that transform into recognizable Transformers characters. And I think that could work quite well. And then the other one's a bit of an outside shot, so it might not work. Paul, you might actually be able to kind of offer more of an opinion on this one. But Judge Dredd, I'd like to see, because I just think like Judge Dredd, we've had times when it's kind of come back and it's been there in the kind of the subconscious of everyone, and everybody's always seems to. I've never met anyone who said Judge Dredd is shit. And then if you could actually have that, even like the vehicle,
IDW Proud,
Lawmaker.
Exactly. You get there's certain characters that would fit in perfectly there that you could have.
Definitely.
But I mean, it's not an easy one necessarily to do, but they could, and that's the whole point of this discussion, isn't it? It's like if you could choose anything. Even like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, because you could have the oh Christ, what was the big Krang's big rolling thing? Technodrome.
Yes.
You could have that from like a Unicron type point of view, or something like that transforms into a massive Titan. The turtle van can transform into something, and they had loads of little vehicles.
Got quite a few.
You got tons. So you could even throw in the turtles somewhere. But maybe that's the problem. There's so much choice, and it really, as much as we might express a preference for Hasbro themselves, it comes down to who can we actually get and what's going to make money.
I do like the idea of Jason the Wheeled Warriors because of this cybernetic biological concept it can go into. I like
the vehicles as well. I mean, how many different characters could you fit in there with the different vehicles? Also, Mask is good. I'm just watching it, holding it up.
To be fair, he hasn't been asking questions.
He hasn't. He's been very good.
I got one. Don't Hasbro own?
Oh, Christ. Attempted fate.
They do now because they own Kenner, don't they? So they have it, yeah. And they tried to do the shared universe, didn't they? Where they had Visionaries and they had Mask and they had, what was the other one? The robot. Anyway,
how would Visionaries work? Wouldn't the Transformers land on the planet and go, fuck, no technology?
Well, no, that was kind of the thing in the comic books. It's the story between the Visionaries. Actually, their planet is destroyed. They end up on Cybertron as like refugees, but then the Darkling Lords basically decide, well, screw this, we'll take this planet for ourselves. And spoilers, if you don't want to know, turn the sound off for 30 seconds or so. Like, they kill Ironhide, and then it sparks off this thing where it's the good guys trying to stop the bad guys from destroying all Cybertronians and just taking the planet for themselves. But it's supposed to be the fight between magic and technology, because they just see them as, well, the Darkling Lords just see them as machines, like any machine you can control. But, it's more about the toys, isn't it? Because whether you get a proper, like, massive crossover, but if we can do the Jurassic Park things, we can do the others. But then Jurassic Park is a huge franchise, isn't it? So that's why Hasbro will know they can make money off it.
If you're looking at magic and technology, then the other one I'd mention is
Paul
Voltron.
Daniels. Oh, right, no, sorry.
Close. Voltron, I think, would be quite good as a crossover.
That
you
would
missed out
definitely
Magic the Gathering, seriously. You of all people missed Magic the Gathering.
No, I thought that was a shit crossover.
Yeah, it is.
All right, don't back, Alexis. Tell us what you think.
I think Voltron would work quite well. I thought, because they're basically transforming lines that transform into a giant robot anyway, and they're huge. So that'd be quite good. It'd be the Decepticon. Basically, it'd be Megatron trying to control Voltron, because Voltron is the most powerful being in the universe. So it'd be Megatron trying to get his hands on Voltron to use that power for himself in some sort of shape or form. Probably trying to get bombshells on to manipulate Voltron and do some sort of cerebral bore in his head. I don't know, something like that. That'd be quite cool. Or the other one would be Gundam as well. If once they've actually made peace with themselves on planet Earth and the moon people, like the people that control the weather, then they finally get taken over by Decepticons that are trying to get all the energy, because that's probably what happened, and they could band together to try and fight the Decepticons in their mechanical suits, which would be quite cool.
I do think, like, when you go from Voltron to Transformers to Gundam, all fine choices, by the way, but there's really like nothing between them, really, from timescale of release and the fact of what they are. Like, late Transformers, very late Japanese Transformers, so similar to Gundam. Like, they almost blur from one into the other, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, here's a real
I think
outside.
It was a good choice, Alexis.
That was. What about Starcom? Something like that. So you could bring the Starcom toys back and have them transformable.
I felt like I had to say something negative. Everything. I would love Starcom.
Starcom is. Oh, we need it back. We need more Starcom. Let's have a Starcom section. Let's everybody buy some Starcom stuff just so we can talk about it.
Did we have a Fanstoys Inneundo?
No, thank God.
Is there a Fanstoys?
Why would you? Why?
Look
at I've never played Fun Live.
Oh, don't. None of it. No one wins.
No. Keep chatting. I'll do some work stuff, but keep chatting.
God.
We nearly got through, Jamie.
I mean, no, I don't know about you guys. I like it. I like Fanstoys Inneundo. It's fun. It's dynamic.
And we've got 17 minutes to kill.
But I was just thinking, though. I mean, the thing I would like, but I think the trouble is it's too obscure. Not enough people would want it. It's the Exo Squad. I think Exo Squad to me would be something which I would love to see come back, in an animation form. Netflix, if you're watching this show, which I know you do because there's some nice looking guys on this show and it's quite creative. Netflix, if you're watching, look up Exo Squad. If you need someone to run this show, and I've got the skills, I've got the skill set, I would make it a success. Yes, that's a crossover I would want, Exo Squad, and I think it could go far.
Cheers, Roro.
Gladiators.
Reject.
Wait, hold on.
They
How do you
transform into their character? So Wolf transforms into a wolf. Jet.
Oh God, that sounds like Animorphs. Please don't do that.
What does Shadow transform? Go on, let's test your knowledge on this. How far are you going?
Yeah, Shadow transforms into
Cobra.
Yeah. Okay. Pyro transforms into what?
Nightshade.
Oh Jesus! I thought you were going to say, Pete, when you started doing all that stuff. I thought you were going to say Master of the Universe. I thought I don't think that'll work as well.
No,
if you do Thundercats, you do Masters of the Universe. That's the same one, isn't it?
Well,
you've got a couple of vehicles. You've got a couple of vehicles
really fit in, You saw some of
think
the vehicles like the Rotor.
The Wind Raider would. The
Wind Raider, but how many others?
Roton.
I would think.
Really? Who's that going to be?
The kids' version of Masters of the Universe would work.
Legs come out wrong.
One that was successful.
Sorry, Jamie.
Biker Mice from Mars.
I would say the kids' version of Masters of the Universe would work with Transformers. I think with the Earthspark. I think if that would cross over, they would, because I think the aesthetics are similar and the characters are fun and nice. And I mean, the kids' version of Masters of the Universe, that was a good cartoon which was sadly cancelled. I think that would work quite well, because that's the thing when you think about Transformers. We've all got a different versions. I mean, I'm kind of stuck in the past where I always think of Marvel. You know, now I've got Skybound to pin my hopes on as well. But there's such a plethora of different versions out there. And even of the crossovers we talk about, they don't tend to be very one-dimensional. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles has got numerous different versions out there. You know.
I would like to have the boys crossover.
That just seems so now, doesn't it?
I don't know how that would work though.
All right, fine, fuck it. All right, fine.
What about DC? What about DC?
Through that. Pokemon.
What?
Got to catch them all.
And you kick them out. Right, I'm
And
going
to be honest, Jamie, you
DC
kind of are.
DC Universe, the Batmobile, the Batwing, all that stuff, but official ones, not the I know third party have done some, but official ones. And then you could have the Joker's car, you could have the Joker's van, you could have the Riddler's got vehicles. They've all got vehicles of some
But
kind.
how would they stop Superman? He could literally just destroy all the Transformers, couldn't he?
Not DC.
Well, I mean, in real life,
Cryptotron.
Yeah, Cryptotron, who shoots kryptonite.
There you
I
are.
don't know.
It writes itself.
Exactly.
Oh, balls.
Oh my
Ridiculous
word.
Badger.
Life has peaked. We're being watched by Ridiculous Badger. Hello, Ridiculous Badger. You've got the best name I've seen all night.
What about a horror? Aliens.
Nick, stop that.
Aliens.
Oh, yes, Aliens. Predator. You could have Aliens.
Predator X Transformers.
Imagine
And
that.
something mechanical based it does to humans. And they can do it to Transformers, so they could actually like impregnate Transformers.
Gestates inside the Transformer.
Yes, and then bust it in the Transformer. Could you imagine
Didn't
if
think we were
always
going
funny
down
died? And then just bust open and this monster.
How would they be
comes
going? I'm a Transformer.
That's my ringtone set.
I did like in Aliens the fact that they kind of, as the continuity went on, they changed it so that whatever creature the alien gestated in, it came out kind of slightly different. So when it gestated in the dog
like
in Alien
that.
3,
I mean,
it was more.
we could write the script. We need to trademark
this.
this now, baby. We need to do.
Who are you calling baby? Because I got excited.
Not Coronation Street, not Store, Billy from
I've never seen this
Coronation
happen.
Street.
Aliens.
The In-Betweeners.
The In-Betweeners sound good.
You remember
Transformers completed it, mate.
Turbo Teen. So this was a
Transformer
natural.
wankers.
I've got the intro here.
Guilty.
Okay,
Matthew, it was a stormy night when a bolt of lightning forced me off the road. My car skidded into a government laboratory where a top-secret experiment was underway. I swerved into the path
This
of
is a bit
rapid
unnerving.
molecular transfer rays, causing me and my car to become
What's the face?
the incredible Turbo Team.
Resident Evil.
I think it's a bit sexual when they fill them up at a gas station. You think, you know,
It's more than a bit sexual,
It
Jamie.
came out 2 days before Transformers hit the.
Can I just ask
Coincidence? I think not.
Fucking seats.
Paul, when you
Coincidence.
when you googled Turbo Teen, what were the first 3 or 4 links that came up?
Oh, I think
Asking
Alexis
for a
knows.
friend.
I googled Transformers that turn into humans, not teens.
It's never
Do it on my
idea.
laptop.
Right,
Yeah.
Tolls Transformers.
Dolls.
Oh,
But don't you
Poddington
just see
Peas
that
then. If we're
when
going to
that
go raggy
happens?
dolls, let's go Poddington
Oh,
Peas.
Poddington
You drive
Peas.
your car,
Down at the
Oh,
bottom of the
crash.
garden, amongst the birds.
crash your car.
You know where they
And-
are.
and
How about
That's going to be in
Smurfs?
my head all night now. Thanks for that.
But I mean,
They live a lot of
has
little
that happened to you?
people.
You know, crashing your car into it. I mean, it must have happened to Pete. I mean, how come you're so old now?
I
You're
will
showing
say,
a youngster.
I will say, Jamie, when that guy crashed his car, he really crashed his car. It looks like he pressed the accelerator, not slowed down. Screw it, I'm going in.
What's the difference between that and then someone just drives a car normally? I didn't quite get that. Like, how is
Yeah,
like,
instead of
can
turning
you
into a
drive your car
car, why don't you
upstairs?
just
He is the
drive?
car.
yeah,
Yeah, but can you drive
like,
upstairs? I don't think so.
I could.
Because he can.
Very
Just
shallow
like in the
stairs.
I'll
Yes,
show
I could.
you. I'll show
Get
you.
enough
when we
red
get to
wine in
Hilton.
Paul, he'll give it a go.
I'll fucking drive up those Hilton stairs.
Animal hospital trans. Oh no, Bisto.
Animal Hospital cross Transformers.
We probably shouldn't do that one.
No.
You know, yeah, good one.
Doesn't it?
And it's the same time period. Transformers and Murder She Wrote, because it'd be fucking obvious who did the murder. Well, it's got to be
The murder.
Do that, Columbo. If you're going to do it properly.
70 minutes. Yeah.
What could you? She could transform into like a Rolls Royce or like a
typewriter.
Car.
How about a typewriter?
Typewriter.
I know. Wait. What about Thunderbirds?
No, we all
But the puppets are a bit.
Could be all right.
Is that what you
Weird
wanted?
when I was a
Yeah,
kid.
cut on.
What about like if you could replace a video game with Transformers, what would you do? So if you think of Tekken 3, but you strip all back, so there's no Tekken characters, it was just Transformer characters, same gameplay.
Yeah,
that would work. Wouldn't it? That would work.
You would lead into Fanstoys.
I've said like before, like you'd have to have like a 2D fighting game with Transformers because there's been a couple, but not much.
Like Marvel vs. Capcom style.
Yeah, you could just have like a team of them, couldn't you? You could have 3-on-3 or whatever.
You're basically saying you want a
Grimlock, man.
crossover. Do you know what'd be good? They just did this as a joke, but even if they did it as a DLC, when the Street Fighters are destroying the car, if it was Bumblebee,
actually transformed.
Please stop.
Turns into a robot and go, I'm going to kick the shit out of you now.
I love
Transformers.
I love the fact in the chat people are just suggesting any random thing now. So Mr. Blobby is obviously Quantum Leap. I'm not quite sure. How's that going to work? Quantum Leap.
I do like the new series.
Oh no, I haven't watched the new series. Is it any good?
It is. Jamie recommends it is Smash.
Speaking in the third person.
It gets 3 Jamie thumbs up. 1, 2.
Fourth person doesn't agree.
Mail-in? Oh dear.
I need your thumbs.
That's it.
That's it.
I do like it.
Look, I'm looking forward to the 4 thumb review.
Give it about 3 episodes. Let it sink in because it is.
Yeah, you can't just go off the first episode.
The episodes
you do
or
have
the
to try
thumb.
and stick with it. Herbie. Oh my god, that could be awesome. It's obviously going to be Bumblebee.
Sissy Bang
Oh,
Bang.
Gold. Could be Goldberg.
I misread that. I thought it said hairpiece, and I was thinking,
yeah, literally just listing off anything from pop
You
culture.
have Transformers. You have Transformers. Brum could transform into something.
Rainbow. Something that transforms into Zippy, Bungle, George.
What about Rainbow Bright? If everyone remembers that from the 80s, Rainbow Bright.
Right, don't bring My Little Pony into this.
Rainbow Bright, see the shining light.
I forgot how much he loves My Little Pony.
Wait, Drew, shut up.
Starlight flies, stars through the sky.
Noel's house.
Who's gone Euro trash? Drew.
Oh dear, Euro.
What were the guys? Was it Anton Dubek? Was it Anton? Was it Anton on? Who was the other guy from Euro Trash?
He's a Euro Trash with the designer book.
Jean-Paul, wasn't it?
Yeah, Jean-Paul. Yeah, I think Paul just said it.
Jean-Paul Gay.
It's Damon.
Oh
no,
about Jean-Paul Go.
Is Ellen picked gummy bears? Just for the theme song.
No, for a reason.
Yeah, for a very good reason.
Oh, Jamie.
That's both Hasbro, are they?
They have a good theme song like gummy bears.
Who just said
Well,
ground?
if we're doing that, we might go DuckTales then. Might as well go DuckTales then.
DuckTales.
I think we're going to go through everything
a Charlie
at
Dip
one point or another.
Charlie
I
Dip.
don't know. DuckTales. I feel bad for liking Chinese shows up now, which I really love.
Who's on Chuck Brothers? Chuckle Brothers pedal cut Dave.
I think they're just describing us. Which car? A decent. Oh, Tron. That could be really Tron. We're bringing it.
That sounds like that should have been done by now.
Well done, Dub Bear.
What?
And
Transformers.
Transformers.
Transformatron.
Ready, steady, cook.
Have we already said many? We've said Zoids before, haven't we? I mean, it seems obvious, but you could have Zoids that transform.
Again, that's both Transformers. It could.
It's an easy.
Yeah, it's
also an easy. It's an easy one where you could build it, though, isn't it? You have the
Zoids versus Transformers. Because the Zoids are massive, right? They're like huge. They're bigger than Transformers, aren't they? So.
I had a couple of them back in the day.
Dino Riders.
Oh yeah, sure.
I just wish I had my means to actually buy toys. They're quite expensive, aren't they?
Yeah.
You know,
you have more money to buy as an adult.
They're so animatronically accurate. They actually use them in museums the figures to present actually like what real dinosaurs look like.
Oh wow!
So atomically accurate. So, I had a
squad would be a fucking shell.
I don't know. Anyone who's watched it,
Inhumans, what a good one, good crossover.
That was darkest. That was for a children's cartoon. Wasn't that just like sordidly dark? I mean, Jesus, like melting off the. I mean, what?
Yeah. Say that.
What's in growth?
It's glass.
I said it last week about the head. You know, you're playing with it, but that went down like a balloon.
Imagine Megatron.
You basically drink this in the glass because there's no head whatsoever, is what you said you preferred.
I drink ale.
Bottom half.
So you don't enjoy head?
Top half, Megatron.
And my beer. Here, please fill up my pint glass, but get there and stop. Come on.
You know, he might take a piss and he'd be quite, you know, we want as much of that alcohol as possible. You like to enjoy the moment.
In old man glasses.
Not full.
Because it's not like I'm only going to buy one pint of beers. It doesn't really matter to me. I'll be buying more.
I'll be back. You be ready.
Yeah, like the amount of beer that Pete brought to Tiff Nation that disappeared by Saturday.
Brew is absolutely going for Rosie and Jim. How do we 50 Shades of Grey? You said that. We can breathe.
That's what we should do. 50 Shades of
Oh dear. 50 Shades.
Ooh. Who the hell's Rosie and Jim?
Andy's come up with a good one. Transformers Robots.
I don't remember all the words.
I like how people are very irate with that.
Really,
I still don't even know it is.
Look, Google it after. Well, careful actually when you Google it.
What, Rosie and Jim chugging along?
Rosie and Jim chugging.
Gargoyles. What about gargoyles?
Gargoyles. What a shout. What a shout.
You never get the word, see? Although actually, they're
gargoyles, and I swear to God, see if they ignore the Scottish element, suddenly it doesn't become important to match it. I'll be really pissed off. You know, now suddenly it doesn't matter.
Strongly worded email incoming.
Yeah. Because you don't know it. Well, I'm based in this country, it needs to be this accent, and he's that
lock Punisher with a penis.
Devastator sent me this.
He's the Punisher.
It's not really crossover. It's just how Punisher if there's like a bit of a dick.
That's how he punishes people. Yeah.
Dan's choice of marrying and I marry men suddenly gives me a different picture of what he means.
Couldn't you do a similar thing with E1 scatter shot with the like the gun barrel from the spacecraft mode? Could actually put it around to the front. I'm sure as kids we would do stuff like that just because it was funny.
Peter's cannon.
Blackadder. I love Blackadder. I don't know how that would work, but I love Blackadder.
Blackadder.
Love Blackadder.
Oh, straight.
Transformers with Ornament presenter. Well played.
50 seconds.
Not true. Jamie lied to us.
It's not
It's no secret thing. No, you're famous now. That's Britney Spears going, oh, you know what? I keep 1 minute 51 videos.
There you go. Kill 50
Let's talk about Soundwave again. Do you want to do our
Everyone's
pickups
still
again?
their favourite Soundwave figure.
Actually, do you know what we haven't asked? Is people
Masterpiece.
who are watching this, please like the show. Please put a like there.
And subscribe. Okay, subscribe.
You've changed. Whoops. I'm sorry.
Don't like it. Don't like it.
Let go of my.
I still can't believe, Paul, you put that video.
I'm
just
subscribed right now.
I still can't believe you
You
put
can like
that
my videos.
over your shoulder. It's just cut me out.
But why, Pete?
Paul,
Why?
Paul, have you
supposed to be
done
one of
an
us.
innuendo or not?
You were a
You
great
are, Paul.
hope, Pete. You were a great hope.
Have you actually done an
You're
innuendo?
supposed to unite
I was
NATO.
we're waiting for. I'm waiting
No,
for-
I thought you were doing
Size.
it.
Yeah.
If you haven't, save it for next week.
All right, I'll stick it on the chat. Yeah, right.
Or
All right.
Okay, thank you
Do it
so
next
much
week.
for watching
Yeah.
tonight.
I'll be here next
I
week.
just want to make it clear, if it hasn't been made exceptionally clear at all, but Pete's the newest member of Transformers the show. Fuck, I've just spilled all my beer. Fuck you, Pete. Just say-
zero.
It was a short-lived tenure for Pete on Transformers.